we are back today with our Life Journal Jumpstart. So hopefully you got your Bibles and you're ready because we're jumping right in. We got Job 3 and 4. We're continuing in Acts chapter 8 and 9. And Job, once again, we're introduced to this man who has an incredible amount of wealth, but also an incredible amount of integrity. And Satan has this mission that and he is set on this idea that Job only praises God with his lips because of the possessions that God has given to Job. And Satan challenges this idea and requests to God that if he can take away these items, then Job will surely curse God. And so this begins, and Job's comfort is stripped from him. And Job chapter 3 is an entire chapter dedicated to the lamenting and anguish of Job. It's a very, very sad chapter. In Job, he is basically and essentially regretting the day of his birth because it has led to his current despair. And Job is in a very, very uncomfortable place. And this is where we're introduced to one of Job's first friends. His name is Eliphaz. And what's very important to know about these friends is that they represent the smartest and the wisest of Eastern ancient antiquity, and they represent the best of the best when it comes to thinking and philosophies about God. And Eliphaz operates out of this important idea that if you are innocent and if you are good and if you are wise, then blessings from God will surely follow. But on the other hand, if you are evil and foolish, then suffering will come. And so Eliphaz does his best to comfort Job very briefly, but his empathy fades, and Eliphaz begins to send a judgment towards Job, saying only the innocent can be right. You must be wrong before God somehow, some way. You must have done something, a moral failure, something foolish, to deserve this, because this is how we think, that good things come to good people, bad things come to bad people. But we know that this is not true about Job, that he is upright and that he is good, and yet he is still suffering. And so we're going to see that in Job 4. Acts 8, we're returning to this theme that the gospel has a global reach and that its power is going to surely go to the ends of the earth. Acts 8 verse 1, we see Saul approves of the stoning of Stephen. We see that truly the gospel is going to get to everyone, and it's going to go everywhere. We see this in the following verse 4. Philip, he's going to Samaria. And one thing about Samaritans is that everyone hates Samaritans. Jews and non-Jews alike, they both hate Samaritans. They don't like their culture, they don't like their history, and they don't like their genealogy, and everyone dislikes Samaritans. And this is a powerful picture of the character and love of God, because it says whoever is loved, whoever is unloved, whoever is accepted, whoever is rejected, my message is for them. And this is the good news that is reaching everyone. And so Philip goes to Samaria. He goes to the magician who is using false magic to swindle people, and he brings God to Simon the magician. And I love this in verse 26. He goes to an Ethiopian eunuch reading the scriptures aloud, that God is ultimately reaching every culture, every nation. It doesn't matter where you come from. God is going to meet you right where you are, and he's going to change your heart. In Acts chapter 9, we have the encounter Saul has with God, and this is pivotal. This is such an instrumental chapter, because Saul is ultimately going to be a vehicle of God's goodness and his message to the entire known world. We know that Saul, and who also goes by the name Paul, as he ministers to certain cultures, is going to take this message truly to the ends of the earth. And God is going to use someone who was a murderer, who was a Pharisaical teacher, who was zealous and stubborn, and he's going to redeem him and use him to reach everyone. And this is exciting and good news, and this is just going to be the beginning of God taking the gospel everywhere and to everyone. And so we'll continue this tomorrow. Until then, you guys have a great day.